Since 1973, Tattoo Charlie's has been an established body modification studio in Kentucky, featuring world-renowned artists and piercers, currently with locations on Preston Highway and in Lexington, a staple point in the tattoo community. Learn more at TattooCharlies.com. Set up your appointment today at 7904 Preston Highway. Our tattoos are done while you wait. Welcome to the Metal Forge. I'm your host, Mark Jackson, and I'm going to be pounding out the best regional metal for you tonight. If you're new to this show, pick up your hammer and get down with some of these featured guests. Got any questions or comments? Send them to metalforgeradio@gmail.com. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for tuning into the Metal Forge. I'm your host, Mark Jackson. It is lovely Friday, April 24th, where my guest will be WiiRMZ, Chad Castetter in particular, calling in. Holy crap, it's been a wild ride so far, has it not? But thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate everything that you all do, listen, and reply back to the various questions I ask you guys. Thank you all. Stay tuned in the coming weeks. We're going to have Spell from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, coming on the show. First international guest. That'll be pretty cool. Then after that, we have a United Kingdom guest called Underking. And then we go all the way out to California, which is going to be Warcloud. And that's going to be pretty damn cool. So, awesome stuff coming up. But thank you all seriously again for, tuning in and checking out the High Noon, the Gunslinger Hour on Fridays, It's been super cool, last week, Guy Hinton from Echo Soul with the track with Ripper Owens on it. That was pretty cool. And even people, I've been getting a lot of listens on the previous year when we were on the radio, which I really dig that, A lot of people going back through the archives. And, with these international guests coming on and reaching all the way out to California and the United States, we're rapidly making this a worldwide show so far, and that means a lot, from a dude from Southern Indiana. So thank you all. But yeah, I'm gonna play some WiiRMZ today on the show, and we're gonna talk to Chad. And holy crap, dude! Like when he called, it was so cool because it was like we knew each other for 20 fucking years or something, but I'd never met the guy. And we just, what I got to dwindle down to about a 50-minute interview was actually, it was probably about 2.5 hours on the phone, just talking about all kinds of things, because we know so many of the same people but have never met. And, it's just really cool. But before we get into all that, I always like to get on Loudwire and check things out. And apparently Puddle of Mud has covered about a girl badly. I'm going to play a few seconds of it on the show. I typically don't do stuff like this, but it's so bad. Oh my god. And a lot of people give me shit over my vocals and everything. I can take that. This I cannot. Listen to this. Thank you for this too, I do. But you have a clue. Take it, then it's wild. You hang me out to dry. I can see you every night. Rain. I do.
It's getting to be goddamn ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. I mean, could y'all not get through that like I couldn't? It's just so bad. I mean, the music is really good. The music is like spot on to the unplugged version, but like I have no idea what Wes was trying to do there. It seems like, ever since a few years ago, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, when he had the legal issues and stuff like that, he's just, he's kind of took a pretty bad dive. Get the help that you need, dude, if you need any help. All right, so before we get into the interview, this is Don't Panic by WiiRMZ. Joined on the phone with Chad Castetter from WiiRMZ. Dude, how are you?
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Dude, no, I mean, thank you for calling. It's been awesome. I've been waiting for this call for so long. You know,
I was tickled to death when Jeff told me about it.
I know, now Jeff can go to sleep at night and not worry anymore because you guys are finally here, man. I wish, I wish you were doing the in studio live deal like at the radio station. But hey, this is just as good, and it's the podcast has been picking up a pretty good amount of steam. So fuck yeah, man.
Quarantine gets what quarantine wants.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. It's like, coming up with new ways to sit there and say, oh, quarantine cast week 3, week 6.
If I didn't have my 4-track here, I would totally be you'd be scraping me off the ceiling with a rake or something.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, I go through Loudwire, on the on the monologues, and I'm just like, what do I want to talk about? And it's like, I don't want to really read the articles because there's nothing really going on. It's like showing
it's this weird holding pattern.
Yeah, it really is. And it's like, shows this thing, it shows a picture of Metallica, and it's like, top 25 thrash albums, and it's like, nah, I really don't want to read that.
That's not where my head is right now. Thank
Right,
you.
and in the thing of like real news that could be out there,
Yeah.
they end up like putting out like 37 years ago, Dave Mustaine was fired from Metallica, and I'm like,
Oh God.
yeah, and it's like, wow, yeah, let's remember that. Or 50 years ago, the
Let's
Beatles
make Dave
broke.
Mustaine cry again.
You know, and on last week's episode where that was the actual news headline, I said, you know, thus inciting a war for 25 years.
Right? My God.
That, you know, he wouldn't talk to anybody until 2012.
God, that was. And when did it happen? Like 82?
Yeah, something like that. 80.
God, that's a long time to fucking suck down a grudge.
Hello, me. Meet the real
It's
me.
the real me.
He sounds like an evil villain.
I'm so glad you did that. A couple friends of mine and I do Dave Mustaine all the time.
Dr. Dave Botnick, the evil villain.
I met him at the Palace when they did there was the Experience Hendrix tour that had a bunch of hot shit guitar players all covering Hendrix.
Oh,
like,
yeah. That was like
Dweezil, Zappa, and Eric Johnson.
Zakk Wylde.
Yeah, I drove Zakk Wylde from the hotel to the venue, and we were just busting each other's balls right out of the gate. I was like, he had his cut on. I was like, Berserker, you're not a Berserker, you're a fucking pipsqueak. Look at you.
Oh.
And he had his personal assistant with him. He's like, who the fuck is this guy? It was super fun.
And I don't know if you follow him on like Instagram or anything like that, but he's just like, what am I talking about? Oh. And he's just got this thick Jersey accent.
Yeah, absolutely. Right after that, Zach Sabbath played at the Mercury.
You know, I've never seen Zach Sabbath, but I really want to. You know,
It's,
and I was going to go see BLS here a couple of weeks ago, but everybody decided to get fucking sick. And,
Yeah.
And
I've never been a big fan of Black Label Society, but I did work that Zach Sabbath show, and it was cool. But like during the solo breaks, instead of like doing a couple measures like Tony did, he would fucking just go off into fucking orbit and solo for 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
By
video.
then you're just like, I don't even remember what fucking song we're listening to.
Fluff.
His manager was this beautiful blonde British girl who was just like, it was on a Sunday, and Sunday shows are tough because a lot of shit we have to get for on the band's riders we can't.
Oh yeah, like if there's any alcohol or anything.
Yeah, we have to just wait a while, and like she just wasn't having it. I was like, shit in one hand and wish in the other.
It's like, hey, there are local laws that prevent that. Now, was he sober when you were taking him around?
Yeah, I didn't see him drink anything but water or
right.
juice and stuff. Yeah, he seems to be sober.
Yeah, I know he had some issues a while back, and
how long? He's been sober for a long time. I hear.
It's been like 5 or 6 years now. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was one of those things. It's like, dude, you got to quit drinking, or you're gonna die like tomorrow.
He was like Dimebag. They drank fucking Crown Royal and Jägermeister, like that's almost exclusively.
Jaeger, you can have it. I'm not a fan.
I can't fucking resist it, man. When it's got a fucking when it's got an energy drink in it, man, it's like
when it's got a shot of Red Bull and a glass of Jaeger, as opposed to the other way around.
After the third one, you're like, it's instant confusion. This is like being wide awake and shit-faced drunk as a lethal combo.
Listen to some of the stories he tells, like Zakk Wylde, about the gross out tour stuff. Where he apparently there was a tour where he had a bet with, I think it might have been Rob Trujillo.
Okay,
and it was basically who could go the longest without showering.
Oh, I would have dusted them.
Dude, he went like 87 days.
That's a fucking stretch, man.
That's ridiculous. And I'm like,
yeah, I don't understand why by then he probably didn't have his own bus.
Right. They all had to live together.
Or just force him to take a Silkwood shower somewhere.
I'd stop if I saw somebody like with the where they clear the fire hydrants.
Hold him out there.
Pull that fucking bus over, dude.
Yeah, just open the window. Just open his window. We're good.
Right. Just
I'll clean the water up.
That water will dry, but he will be fixed at the end of that. So tell us about Worms. How did you guys start?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm actually the new guy in the band.
What? So you got elected? You're the new guy, and you got elected to do this?
I volunteered. I'm trying to get my bones, man.
Hell yeah!
But I saw their very first show, and I was totally knocked out. It reminded me of several bands that are like, some of my very, very favorite bands. It was like really energetic and loud and just political enough to not beat it over your fucking head.
Right.
So, and they were buddies of mine. And so, after that show, I approached Brad White, Rocker Belt, and he's the drummer. I was like, man, if anybody backs out of this, like, I would love to step up. And he's like, yeah, totally. I'll keep you in mind. And then I don't remember the exact date, but it was like toward the end of last year. Dave Wright, who was the guitar player in the original lineup, decided that he kind of had too many irons in the fire. He's in a bunch of bands, and he's got a son, and he's got an adult life and a rock life. So
oh yeah. So
he was just going to step out, and he knew that I would step right in, and then. I'd already by the time Dave quit, I had seen them probably, I bet, almost 10 times.
Wow.
And so I knew, like, in my head, how the songs went. It was just a matter of figuring out how to play them. And so the next, they gave me a tape of everything, and it took me like 30 minutes to pick out all the chords and stuff, and that was it. And I went to the first practice, and
there it was, yeah.
There we went, yeah.
Awesome.
I didn't want to be the fucking guy that went in there, and kind of learned half of a song. It's like, oh, I just had other shit to do, whatever.
Right.
I really wanted to drill it, so I think I did.
How do you guys get together and write?
The writing process is Brian and Billy mostly, will come in with pieces and parts. They've been playing the same set since they were a band, with just like maybe one or two added songs. So we've been trying to, work out a lot. We want to put some new material out. So we've got 3 new things that we're working on. One of them is pretty much Brian, the bass player. Like, he's brought in all these parts, and we're kind of piecing them together. And then Billy has another one that we're working on. Then another one that's just very, in the Genesis stage. So
awesome.
But, yeah, it's process. There's a lot of butting of heads.
Right. Well, I mean, I think with a band, that's kind of a thing that has to happen, because to get everybody's input.
Yeah, Brian and Brad have been working together. They were in Hot Wires, and they've been together for years. So how are they not going to fight? But we can usually hose it down and continue.
Good deal.
But yeah, there's one particular song. It's pretty much finished. It was incredible writing it, and it's like, I think, the best thing that we've done. And I hope we continue to, kind of move in that direction.
Definitely. So when you guys are writing songs, I'm in a band, and when we throw something against the wall, say, okay, this might be something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you assign it like a working title, like anything crazy? Because
actually, Brian, I think he, as well as having like some riffs and stuff to piece together, he already had a lyrical idea. So I think it had like a legit title already.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. But I've been in other bands where, until it's worked out, it gets some probably X-rated or, just completely silly name in the meantime.
So what's the most vile name that you've had for a working title of a song that, that you changed, obviously?
It was all spelled out. Midget with midget with an inverted cross on each end.
Wow. So a little bit of the visual aspect on that. So if you saw it on the album cover, you would you would get it, kind of like it was kind of like the Mayhem logo.
Yeah. God. I saw my good friend and my other solo project. There's an Italian label called Asbestos Digit that lets me put my stuff on, or they put my stuff on their Bandcamp page. So I can at least get it out there.
Right.
But he was holding his daughter. He sent me a picture, and she's like 5 or something, and she's super cute, and he's wearing that fucking Mayhem shirt. I'm like, oh, check it out. It's fucking Black Metal Dad.
Right. Oh, my gosh.
It's like, at least you took your corpse paint off.
Right. And, at least it's not like the bootleg cover.
Right? Yeah.
Oh.
Full color.
Yeah, right. That's if anybody wants I'm going to go ahead and say this on the show. If anybody wants a rabbit hole to follow, if you don't know anything about the Norwegian black metal, of Burzum and Mayhem,
yeah,
get into that.
Hours and leagues and volumes of
ridiculousness,
drama and fucking mayhem, murder
and suicide,
and
it is
racism.
Yeah, if people are talking about Tiger King like they would talk about. If they would talk about Mayhem and Burzum like that, it'd be like legit. It'd be the Netflix's new big thing.
If they could catch it all in real time while it's happening,
right?
That'd be great.
And there is actually there is a documentary on Netflix. It's not. I'm sorry. It is a adaptation. It's kind of like
the Lords of Chaos thing.
Yes, it's kind of.
I haven't seen it. I read the book a million times.
It's kind of like The Dirt. The Motley Crue Imaginarium story.
Uh-huh. That movie wasn't so bad, I thought. It was the guys, Jeff Tremaine directed it, who was part of Big Brother magazine, and was part of the Jackass thing.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I figured he liked them enough. He was gonna do the best job he could. I thought it was okay.
I actually haven't seen all of it. I've seen parts of it. I'm just kind of like, I'm not like the biggest Crew fan out there. I like
sure.
I like a few things, but I
Too
might have to give more like Shout at the Devil.
I like that. Yeah, that record too. Just basically those two and not much else.
Right. And anybody I've noticed that's like a huge metalhead or anything tends to like those two albums, and that's about it.
Nothing past. I mean, Theater of Pain, the next one is like the worst one. God, it's so bad.
That's an interesting thing, because when you get to like Dr. Feelgood, and it's like produced by Bob Rock, and that was the
artwork by Pusshead,
who had done artwork for Metallica, and they snagged Bob Rock for their next album, and
it sounded fucking huge,
right? But that was the album that they heard that they were like, we need this guy, and Gibson did a sit down, like a Q&A with him a couple of months ago, and it was phenomenal.
I bet.
Yeah, and he just talks about his life and career and how he shifted away from being a musician to being a producer. They were like, hey, you're better at this than you are at playing.
That's probably a jagged little pill to get down when you're a younger man, but
oh yeah, because he was in a punk band. So
yeah, what was? Do you remember the name of that band?
Consult the Google machine here, as I've heard before on another podcast. Let's look at Bob Rock's Wikipedia page here.
I love that there's a special feature on, I guess,
Payolas.
Oh, yeah. They were fucking great.
Yeah, he was in the Payolas, Rock and Hide, Rockhead.
What part of Canada is he from? Does it say?
Yeah, he's from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Nice.
But, you know...
There's that footage of where they go to that little bitty bar and he plays bass and they play a fucking set.
Oh, yeah, Chemo's, yeah. Where they were actually...
Oh, that was at Emo's in Texas?
No, Chemo's.
Oh, Chemo's.
Yeah, it was in San Francisco. You know, that's funny, though, that you say that, because they've actually done that a lot more than people realize.
I've heard about a bunch of those shows.
They let the fan club know about it, and then they do like a limited ticket release deal.
Right.
And basically what they do is they'll book themselves in there as, like, when they did that show with him, they booked in as a band called Spun. And nobody...
Spastic Children.
Yeah, there was a Spastic Children and stuff like that, you know.
Right.
When they did before they played in Nashville, before like Death Magnetic came out, they did that at the Basement.
Oh God, I saw Mudhoney there, like the end of last year, and that club got leveled by that tornado. Apparently,
yeah, and it's just been an unfortunate series of events for those people, because the club and the record store both got hit with the tornado, and then the virus right after, and so hopefully, you know, shout outs to those guys for the...
Yeah. The Basement East, it was the club sounded fantastic. The staff was all super fucking cool and laid back. Like there was no bullshit. And Mudhoney was just slayed. It was the best set I've seen them play. I was going to say the two bands that opened for Mudhoney, the first one was a band called Kings of the Fucking Sea. And they kind of get lumped in with the doom stoner stuff. It's a guy and two beautiful girls that look like they stepped out of a 70s time machine, you know, and they look like rocker girls, but they were really good. And then the second band was called, what was it? It'll come to me, but it's Greg, from Husker Du, the bass player with the handlebar mustaches, his current band, and they were great. They were kind of Minutemen vibes,
nice,
real sort of agit funk. It's great.
Hell yeah! So, if you could have written a song or an album from somebody else, what would it be?
I want to say Carp, because we were talking about them earlier. There's definitely one song on that Suplex record that I wish that I had written. God, there's so much. I Want to Destroy You by the Soft Boys. I wish I'd written that song. That's a great, that melody gets me every time. You know, one of my other very favorite songs is In My House by the Mary Jane Girls.
Yeah?
And I bet I've heard, no exaggerating, I bet I've heard that song 1,500 times, and every time it comes on, I'm just like, ah.
It's that song.
Yeah, timeless, man.
Nice. Why do you play music? What does music do for you?
It inspires me to create my own music, most of all. Man, it's been my constant companion since I can remember. You know, I had a babysitter when I was 5 or so. My mom worked third shift, and she would, you know, come over to our trailer, and sometimes she'd bring her boyfriend over, who was like Todd from Beavis and Butthead. You know, had a primered car and was just like bad news. But he brought Kiss records over, and it was over after that. Like that, once I latched onto that, like it was just, you know, I wanted to hear it all.
Right. You know,
yeah.
I think anybody who was not in that era.
Oh, you have to be. It's an age, definitely a generational age group thing.
Right. I think everybody. I seriously think when you start noticing rock music, and if you like any kind of what's now referred to as classic rock music, I think they're one of the first bands that people latch onto when they're that 10, 11, 12, 13 years old.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then you see these crazy people with the makeup.
It's like a comic book come to life that's this killer rock band.
Yeah, definitely. And then you get Shout It Out Loud.
This should be Rip and Destroy in the movie.
Right, but it's the thing of like you find out that they're all about having a good time, and yeah, there's the deeper, darker stuff like going blind and stuff
Right.
like that. But then you get like Beth and Shout It Out Loud and
King of the Nighttime World. That's one of my favorites, and it's real happy.
Right. So yeah, it's one of those bands that I think everybody has a point in time where they get into it, and it's either.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I am 37.
Oh, okay, I'll be 50 in November if we all live that long.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was like 6 when Destroyer came out. Like that was kind of like, they've had a movie come on TV. My God, I had to beg my mom to let me watch it. Seems like she wanted to watch Maude or something.
Like the Phantom of the Park.
Yeah. Still have it on VHS somewhere.
The Stunt Double. That's it. That's all I need to say.
They're so bad. One of Ace's is black, right?
Yes. Yes.
So great. So great.
And he's in the scene. And it's like visually there. And it's like, what? Wait a minute.
His autobiography has some great chapters on the making of that movie.
Oh, I bet.
He was having mountains of cocaine delivered to his trailer. He's hardly in any of it.
Yeah, it's because he was in the trailer the whole time.
Says he's never coming out.
No kidding. So what inspires you to write musically?
Other music, like we were saying earlier, I think a lot of times it just comes out of nowhere. I've been pretty much through the quarantine, every free minute I've got, I'm either playing guitar or recording cubic centimeter stuff.
Right on.
And it's absolutely what's kept me fucking sane.
Definitely, because
I thought this quarantine was going to be a cakewalk, but it's been fucking hell on earth, man.
Yeah, hopefully, we get this curbed soon, because I have some friends that live overseas, and there's actually some countries out there that are under military rule, and I feel so bad for that guy in particular, because he's just.
Are any of them in Italy by chance?
No.
Okay.
No, he's in an Eastern European country.
Oh, gotcha.
So, yeah, it was pretty bad, but shout out to Anton.
Shout out to everybody from America that's stuck over there.
Oh yeah, because there's people over there that are. But yeah,
just everybody be okay
and safe, and do what you're fucking told. Don't go outside.
There's nothing
to do.
You
don't have to.
Yeah, there's nothing to do. You can go outside and walk around the yard or take a walk maybe, but stay.
I was
stray too far.
I was talking with Seth from Magbar the other day, and I was like, dude,
he's one of my favorite people.
He is so awesome, and I was just like, man, once this is over, I'm gonna come see you guys, and you're gonna be my first stop. For sure. And he's like, dude, thanks. I'm like, no, man, we need this.
Fuck yeah, man.
So, do you listen to yourself musically as a casual listener, not a critique?
I've played along to the WiiRMZ record a lot, and at first, I don't they had recorded the entire record with the original 4. And then I joined the band, and they wanted me to put my own guitar track on it.
Oh, wow.
So, it was already in the can by the time I did put my tracks on it. I thought that was great. It sounded, it was great anyway. Just, had willed myself into being in my favorite local band. And then, I get to play on the record too, so it's awesome.
Hell yeah.
And I plug it in and play along with it just because I don't want to get rusty.
Right. Yeah, and with no practice going on.
Other than that, Wino I will listen to sometimes just to get a wild hair. The Metro Shifter, I like to play along to those records because it's just dexterity exercise. That's about it.
If you could have played any major concert from days gone past, what would it be?
Oh shit! Fucking Altamont.
Wow. Because it was such a savage scene, or
Yeah, like I just would have liked to have been there to see, like, to feel what that energy was like.
the biker riot.
Yeah. That was a brilliant idea to get the Hells Angels drunk and hire them as security.
Oh, right.
They beat Paul Kantner's ass
Right.
from Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah.
Fucking
I think they beat.
dicks.
You know, the funny thing is like, is it the Monsters of Rock show with Metallica where the Soviet Union, the Gestapo there beating the fans up?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think that was their version of Altamont eventually, you know, because it was just like Altamont was the same way, you know, where the bikers were drunk and beating the shit out of
whoever they wanted to.
Yeah, whoever they wanted to, the concert goers or the bands or whoever. You know,
that guy Rachel, what's his name, got fucking stabbed and died.
Right. That's
Damn.
Wow, Altamont. Wow, nobody's ever said that. That's pretty cool. You know, it's because
But I'd
yeah,
like to play early
it's
in the
iconic.
day.
What's that?
I'd like to play earlier in the day. If
Right.
possible.
Yeah, you don't want to play right before the Stones.
Yeah.
Do you have? You've been in music a while. You know, you said you were about to be 50. Do you have a favorite city or venue you like to perform in?
I like Kaiju right now. Like, I like that room for some reason. There's not a whole lot of, like, you know, state of the art, you know, equipment in there or anything, but you know, throw a few people in there, and like before I was in the band, I saw WiiRMZ there, and I was in another band with some buddies of mine from Phantom Family, Halo, and other bands. We were just going to do a bunch of covers. They played before us and just crushed it. They played a fucking Devo cover. I was losing my mind. I was like, we don't have anything that cool. We should probably play first.
We should. But yeah, it's like,
I just love that room. It's, for some reason, it's perfect size. You know,
it is a really it's an intimate setting, and I think that room works for everybody that goes in.
Yeah. Because I love the Rudyard Kipling too.
Oh wow, yeah, the Rudd. You know, did you like the room when it was also Lisa's?
I only played there twice when it was Lisa's. Okay. I've maybe played there 4 times since it's been Kaiju.
Okay, yeah, that's
it didn't
like a
seem
little
any better or worse at the time.
Right. I think everything's almost the same as there, except for I think it's just a little nicer now.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
So,
but
Belushi
Speedball keeps playing there, and they have to clean up their mess. So they just clean it all up.
And you know, if you want to get in the inner circle, you drink the Listerine. You know, drink just if Diablo offers, just take a swig.
Oh man, this sounds like a setup.
No, it's rough. I'll tell you, it really is rough. They were on the show about this time last year, actually, and oh my gosh, you know, he's sitting there, he's drawing caricatures on chip bags and drinking Listerine out of the bottle.
Wow. And what is it? Dixie Dave is a cough syrup aficionado.
Wow.
From Weed Eater.
Really?
Yeah. You can find a bunch of shit on YouTube where he does taste tests and whatnot. Jesus.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
He's not the brightest bulb in the yeah.
Do you have a favorite song that you have ever written?
My thing is, I taught myself how to play guitar by figuring out, you know, I'd sit down and like figure out this Cars song and how to play it. And I think in doing so, I hindered myself being able to be able to write music. But I seem to be able, like, my strength as far as that's concerned is like in a perfect situation like WiiRMZ, when Brian and Billy have stuff, like, I'm a good collaborator. Like, sometimes I can, you know, find conduits to piece the parts together. Like, that's the situation I'm most productive in.
Okay, I can get that. I can grasp that because
But I wrote an instrumental on one of the Metro Shifter records called Smart Bomb, and that's my favorite. Like, that's the one I'm most proud of.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out and
Sure.
post links where I can. For sure.
That was a long. God, that was a long time.
So let's hear some more about you.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have a favorite film?
My knee-jerk reaction is just to say Clockwork Orange, just because I do love it so much. Lords of Discipline, do you remember that? It's a Stallone movie. They're in fucking, they're street gangs in, I think, Hell's Kitchen.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that.
For some reason, it had a really big impact on me when I was a kid. It's from the early 80s. Decline of Western Civilization, for sure.
Part 2, The Metal Years.
I think that the first one is the legit documentary, and this part 2 is more of the comedy.
Yeah, with Fuckstick.
Paul Stanley, God.
Or Fuckstick in the pool, screaming at his mom.
Oh, Chris Holmes makes that movie, dude. I love that
Christ.
shit. He is a blistering mess.
Dude, and
his mom looks so nonchalant, too. She's just like, shaking her head. That's my boy.
Yeah, right. Dude, like, I'm a huge Motorhead fan, okay?
Yeah.
And he made some kind of jackass comment about Lemmy dying, right?
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, and it was just, like, really in poor taste, and, like, he was such a bastard over it. I was like, you know what?
Did he apologize at all?
Oh, no.
Fucking douche.
Yeah, he was a fuckstick. Like, even in that, to now, I hope, and I'll leave this part in here, and because I hope I can come to the one day, sit there and say, you know what, I want him to come on here, and I hope he would say yes, because I would be like, dude, you fucking suck.
Remember when you did that really stupid, asinine, fucking insensitive thing?
Right, or, when you were in the pool, or whatever the fuck, just...
I'm sure he's probably had this fucking talk ad nauseum about that scene in that movie by now.
God. Honestly, look up a picture of David Allan Coe now, and look up a picture of him, and I think they look similar.
Oh, yeah. I'm just thinking it in my head, and you're right.
They both look like, ridiculous.
Grizzled old fucking warriors.
Yeah, right. Oh, my gosh. He's metal. He's the metal David Allan Coe.
Yeah. He like Chris comes from a couple of generations of biker trash, so
that explains it.
Yeah, he's like he was really obvious. Like, it was obvious that he had a meth issue for a few years, because he just looked. He had that Alice Cooper Special Forces look. Barely alive,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I know I think he actually had liver replacement or something like that.
Oh yeah. Surprised.
And just like the Allman Brother that had it, he kept drinking afterwards. So,
Brilliant.
Do you have a favorite food?
I love Vietnam Kitchen K6 with a side of steamed rice, so it's not as sloppy.
Right. I'm a steamed rice person as well.
Time for Thai on Frankfurt Avenue is the best pad Thai I've ever had.
Awesome. So you like the Asian food?
I mean, and Indian food. I love. Is it Kashmir's the one across from Mid City Mall, and
and Shalimar is over.
Shalimar, yes.
Funny thing, I was just talking with somebody about Shalimar a couple weeks ago on the episode. So.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah.
God, I'm gonna have to call tomorrow and see if they're doing curbside stuff, takeout.
Oh, now you're talking my language, because the chicken masala sounds pretty damn good right now.
Ooh.
Did you say ooh or like?
No, like ooh, like oh yeah.
What's your ultimate jam?
Song wise?
Yes. Or anything for that matter.
Can I have a couple?
Sure.
One of them is Television Addict by The Victims. They're an Australian, one of the first waves of, or the first wave of Australian punk. They were one of those bands. And I don't know, man, this riff, the hook is just undeniable. Yeah, it's from 77, I think.
Nice.
What's another one? Another one is Cortez the Killer, Neil Young. Like, that song hurts me. Actually, there's several. The whole acoustic side of Rust Never Sleeps is some of the like greatest music ever put to vinyl, and it all makes me fucking cry like a newborn kitten.
Aw.
Powerful stuff, man.
That definitely is. I mean, I like a lot of Neil Young stuff where he's where it's, you know, where he's still the folky, like, prophetic Neil Young, stuff like Harvest.
Oh, yeah.
Where I actually recently watched a video, and I think it was from a while back, where he was on Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, yeah?
And Jimmy Fallon actually dressed up as him and played Old Man.
No way.
And in the second verse, like, Neil came out and sat beside him and played and sang the second verse. And he looked ridiculous like Neil as when Neil was young. They looked so much alike. It was
That's crazy.
After this, I'll send you a link to it.
I've got a you know, like Family Dollar. They've got, you know, dollar DVDs that were probably Redbox shit once upon a time.
Yeah.
There's in plastic cardboard cases. I got the bonus disc from the Heart of Gold Neil Young documentary.
Oh, cool.
And there's not much, you know, there's some interesting shit on it, but the very last thing on it was, it was 1972, I think, and it was on the Johnny Cash show, and Neil came on and did Needle and the Damage Done. It's just gut-wrenching.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up.
You can probably find it on YouTube, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That Johnny Cash show, man, had a bunch of people. Like, Glenn Campbell played on there a few times. And
yeah, I like one of my favorite things that I've ever seen was from the Waylon Jennings show, where Hank Jr. plays All My Rowdy Friends Have Settled Down, and like everybody is in, like, they're like passing the guitar around kind of thing, singing songs. It's
That's
so
cool.
good.
You know, one of the acts that came to the Palace, I can't remember who it was. I had to pick up some bus drivers at their hotel and take them back to the venue. And this has been like 6 months ago. One of them was like this dude from Nashville, and he had toured with everyone. He was Waylon's personal driver for, I think he said, like 20 years.
Oh, wow.
He was telling me the story, or you know, whatever. I saw him, dropped him off, and then this other band plays months later. I go to pick up the bus drivers, and he's one of them. He's just, because he said the first thing when he got in, he was like, you know what? You look like fucking Shooter.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh yeah? He's like, that ain't a good thing. He's like, he's a little shit. You probably are too.
Oh, wow. But
he's just an old geezer. When I saw him that second time, we both just started laughing.
That's great.
And he said that on Waylon's 50th birthday, he came out on, the driver came out on stage and stopped the show, which that's not something you did to Waylon back then.
Right.
And he was just like pissed. And then all of a sudden, here comes Johnny Cash. And here comes Chris Christopherson and, you know, 60 other fucking awesome songwriters and guitar players, and let's all fucking jam on stage together.
Wow, dude. That's
pretty wild.
You know, I have a spot, you know, in my heart for Waylon and those guys.
Me too. Yeah.
It's just such good shit, you know. So what's your guilty pleasure musically?
I don't like live by the guilty pleasure. I think that you should, like, if you like something, own it, you know? I think that some shit that I like that would surprise people, sort of.
Yeah. Well, what would that be then?
I love ABBA. They're one of my favorite bands ever.
Nice. This is like, I'm like talking with Jacob Worley again. From same guy with the Indian food. Same guy said ABBA. So
Nice. I gotta meet this guy. This guy knows what's up.
and he's from Ohio. So
I think the Mary Jane Girls might fall into that category, but I feel like everybody likes that song anyway. I love the old Peter Pan records. Peter Pan Records was the label, but they did a comic book that you read along with the record.
oh
you know?
yeah,
Those
well,
things-
like they would have like they would do like the Star Wars.
Yeah,
And
or
like
a lot of Marvel stuff and $6 Million Man. shit
Yeah.
like that.
They would have like it would be like a little 10-page book, and it told the story as you went on.
Yeah, and it was in big, 12 by 12,
Yeah,
life size glory. I used to have a bunch of those, and Dominic Cipolla from Phantom Family Halo, and now he's in Mono. He and I we just had this knack for finding them everywhere, and for half of the time, people were trying to give them away. I had Kojak and Kiss. There were a couple Kiss ones. It was just awesome.
sweet. What is your greatest achievement as a musician?
I don't feel like I've done it yet.
I can buy that.
I've still doing it, maybe.
Right.
I got kind of bitter, I didn't do anything. I barely went to shows for 10 years, and just over the last 5 years, maybe, I've really got the itch to do it again.
Right.
Just a couple bands that I was in dissolved, leaving a really terrible taste in my mouth, and just about the whole scene and. Bleh.
And yeah, you needed to. I think you needed the break. It sounds like you needed to be able to recharge the battery.
Just be separate from it for the first time in fucking forever, and it worked, And I feel like now I don't get. Of course, I'm much older, but you just not to get caught up in dumb shit that you shouldn't be.
Right.
Don't sweat the small shit. It's mostly all dumb shit.
Right. Absolutely. I could go along with that. Do you have a Spinal Tap moment?
Yes. Endpoint did 2 shows in a row at, I think it was the Cherokee Blues Club at the time, where, Cahoots and Tooligans used to be.
Right.
One night was all ages, and the other night was 21 and over. And on the 21 and over show, we played with, I think, Star Billy, one of Peter's bands, Star Billy or Big Wheel, and I can't remember who else. Anyway, I was hanging out with some friends of mine down sort of across the street from where Better Days Records is now.
Okay, yeah.
Deer Park. They live down that street. And I proceeded to get entirely way more shit-faced than I planned. Along with them, and they're all I usually can see that line, and I tread it lightly, but I was just threw caution to the wind, and so I roll up to this show, and with myself and 3 underage drunken hoods, getting them into the show. I finally get I think I was late too, not very late, but they had to wait for me for a minute. So I get up there and I strap my guitar on. Again, we're about halfway through the first song, and I've seen this on video. It was shot a static shot from the very back of the room, kind of up high in the air, so I could see everybody's heads in the band. And all of a sudden, on my side of the stage, there was a ramp that went up to the stage, and I just stepped right off the edge onto the floor, and you just see me disappear, like somebody pulled me off stage.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it looked painful, but luckily I was drunk, and
yeah,
that's how people don't get hurt.
You don't feel anything when you're drunk.
Yeah.
But
looking at, I didn't realize. I thought it was a Spinal Tap moment when it happened, but when I saw the video, I was like, "Oh God."
I've seen videos of people where they've misjudged and stepped off the front of the stage and just go, and it's like, oh my gosh. If I did
do that shit at the Young Center, and goddamn.
Oh yeah, you're
gonna feel it.
Be like Jimmy Buffett did that time. I think he almost cracked his skull or something like that. There was so much. Yeah, it was rough.
Didn't Dave Grohl fall off stage and break his leg somewhere recently?
Yes, yeah, that was a while back, but yeah, but you know what? You know what he did? He went and had it reset and came back to the show and played the show.
That's right.
Yeah, and then played the tour that way. So, dude,
Patti Smith fell off stage and broke her fucking neck.
Who did?
Patti Smith.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's crazy. Oh.
Yeah, look it up. I forget where it was, but yeah, she just kind of. She was notorious for kind of disassociating on stage and, you know, flipping out.
Right.
Maybe it was one of those, and she just didn't care where she was walking. Yeah, messed her up bad.
So, the last question of the interview, it's the morbid question that everybody likes. If heaven or hell exists, wherever you think you're going, what would you like to hear when you get there?
Squealer.
Yeah?
Yeah, Squealer, AC/DC.
Nice. That's going to be heaven.
No, man, it's going to be hell. That's where everybody goes and has fun. Like, heaven doesn't sound like much fun at all. And all my friends are going to be in hell, so shit.
Might as well be there too, right?
Yeah.
I get you. Dude, tell everybody out there how they can get a hold of Worms and how they can either A, purchase music online or, you know, find the physical copy. And how do they get a hold of y'all to book shows?
Okay. First of all, it's WiiRMZ is the spelling. We're on every social media platform, mostly Instagram, Facebook. We've got only one official song released at the moment. It's on a compilation called River City Rumble 2. And River City Rumble 2 has a Bandcamp page where you can actually hear the song, stream it, and buy the physical CD if you'd like. Our soon-to-be released, hopefully, record is called Faster, Cheaper. And, you know, with everything going on, it's kind of up in the air as far as when it's coming out. But the test pressings have come in, and I think the order has been placed. Like, it's balls in motion.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait. I love this record. It was awesome. Like, I was so completely elated that I got to put my guitar track on it.
Hell yeah. And is there anybody else you want to give a shout out to before you
I want to say, fuck Mitch McConnell. The end of the world's coming, so don't end up regretting something that you didn't do. And, you know, listen to Little Richard and Slayer.
Like mashup, yes. Listen to them at the same time.
Have you heard there's a B-52's Rock Lobster? That's so good.
Raining Blood, yes.
Man, somebody took some time with that one.
Dude, I always love mashup stuff like that.
Me too. I'm a sucker for them.
Dude, I appreciate you calling in. It's been an awesome...
This has been a blast, man. Thanks. Anytime you ever want me to do this again, I would gladly.
Hell yeah, we'll have to get you back on here.
And once the dust settles, we'll meet in person.
Definitely, and actually, you know, when I do the next Metal Forge Live showcase, whenever that may be, you know, I'll have you guys on it, dude.
Love to.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you, man.
Thank you, Mark. Take care, man. I'll see you soon.
Since 1973, Tattoo Charlie's has been an established body modification studio in Kentucky, featuring world-renowned artists and piercers, currently with locations on Preston Highway and in Lexington, a staple point in the tattoo community. Learn more at TattooCharlies.com. Set up your appointment today at 7904 Preston Highway. Our tattoos are done while you wait.